Hey guys, oh my gosh, the herb garden is just doing so wonderful and so fun. I just need to do another tour with you guys here in the middle towards the end of July. Everything's just really looking beautiful and flowering and blooming, and I thought I'd give a tour, kind of what I'm using this stuff for and how I'm harvesting it and what I'm not harvesting now. So we're going to take a deep dive into kind of looking at all the different herbs today. All right, first up is some beautiful Echinacea. I absolutely love this. This one has not, these are just going to roll open tomorrow and be really, really pretty. I actually harvest these tops. I just pluck them off like that, and I use them for tea. So every time I have tea mixed with other things, I just use one of those. Also in the wintertime, I will harvest some of the Echinacea root because it's a lot stronger. So I will go ahead, but I will wait till after the fall frost or freeze to harvest roots, and I'll talk about some other ones like that too. Then over here we have rosemary, and I use that as a tincture as well. It's really good for your brain. And we've got some mint in here. We actually have several different types of mint, part of the Echinacea family. We have lemon balm, part of the same family too, mint family. We have some pink yarrow. It's just so darn tootin' pretty. Yarrow is really good as an anticoagulant. It also helps with fevers. And this is marshmallow. I actually have look at this. It's just a garden of marshmallow. It really has spread quite a bit. You can harvest the marshmallow root again in the fall, and that's really good as a mucilage. Like it helps with coat your lining and stuff, like your throat and stuff. So that really is helpful. Back over here, we have lots of stinging nettles that I have cut off quite a bit actually, so I'm pretty happy with as much as I've harvested, and I keep trimming it, and I can keep kind of coming out and getting some more, and that's a really good antihistamine. Here are some milky oats. Well, I'm waiting for them to turn milky, and then I will harvest them, but they're not quite there yet. I'm hoping I don't miss it because there's not that many there. And this is just a 9-bark tree, nothing I do with in particular. More marshmallow. We have some different types of flowers back there that are doing okay. We've got our walking Egyptian onions. So they get so heavy that they just kind of fall over and plant another one. And you can I use this for dinner already. So the green parts. And it's just kind of in here and actually just in a mess, to be honest. I mean, obviously you can see the mess, right? But some areas of this garden definitely are left best to be messy. I swear that's exactly why. Then we've got some more mints. And these are some just flowers I don't do anything medicinal with. Some thistles, wood thistles, I think. And then we've got the dreaded Japanese beetle. And this is bergamot. So I've got a wild one and like another one. They're red and they're this beautiful purple. I will go ahead and harvest it too. I infuse it in oil and use it in the balm I make for my face and my skin. It's just so creamy. Anyway, so here, that's actually horseradish, so that I can dig up some of it. I want to leave some of the roots. Make sure I'm leaving some of the roots when I dig it, but I'll do it in the fall. We have some beautiful lavender. I mean, you can just rub your hand on it and it just smells. And the bees are coming over and hanging out as well. So that's good, just to smell. I like to put it in my packages that I send out when somebody buys soap or something, or my books. That is Motherwort. This stuff is Motherwort right here, this and this. And that is really good to tincture up that I use. Again, I'm not a doctor. This is just what I use it for feelings of courage. So it's really nice. And then back here, that looks like it's dead. That's actually valerian, and that is a root. It already did a beautiful flower, and I will dig that up as well, and that helps with sleep and calm. Then we have over here white yarrow, the anticoagulant, so it helps with bleeding and fevers. And then we have some sage over here, which is good for gut and like any mouth issues that are going on. And lots of yarrow, because that's what yarrow does. And these are some berry bushes that I can't remember what they're called because I can't remember everything. Can you? Just kidding. And then we have some borage here. I don't really use it, but isn't that pretty? You can do something. I think they're edible. You can do something with it. Then we've got some calendula, and we've got some catnip there, which I have a bigger bush over here that kind of transferred itself that I have been using, and that's really good for colic and fussy stomachs and fussy kids and stuff like that. And that is my big old apple tree that I started from seed that I think actually, we'll see. I keep talking about it. But see how tiny the little apples are? I think that's going to be a crab apple. So I didn't buy, they weren't crab apples trees when I bought it, but I have a feeling that it might have did something, I don't know what it does with apples. Anyways, I digress. I'm getting tired, y'all. I must have got into that valerian. Okay, here's the poppies. I love these poppies. I mean, this is not the poppy that you see in Wizard of Oz, but they are lovely little poppies that help with headaches and stuff. And so that is actually a self-seeding one. And then I planted these ones over here. So I will get quite a lot, and I will tincture it up. And we've got more marshmallow. What a shocker. Then we've got more mint. Oh my gosh, of course there's more mint. And then we have comfrey that has kind of gotten really heavy and fallen over. And I will harvest the root as well and the leaves. That is such a good, it's called knit bone. It helps with bruises, pulled muscles, breaks, sprains, whatever. It's a really good thing. You could actually just wrap the leaf on if you need it. I make salves and tinctures to use it as well as that. And we have so many Japanese beetles. Gosh darn it. And then over here in this beautiful weeded mess is my strawberries. And then over here we have perennial sunflowers that smell like chocolate. And then this beautiful thing that I have going on here, let's see if we can get to the one flower that has bloomed. This is Ella Campaign, really good for immune. Look at that beautiful thing. I'm so excited. So anyway, so I will harvest that and then make tincture as well out of it. So that was a quick tour of the herb garden for 2026, middle of July. I hope you enjoyed it. So much to learn about herbs. So many things that they all just do so many cool, amazing things that I absolutely just love them. So if you are into herbalism and you're going, where do I even start? Start with one herb that grows well in your area. Maybe you can get a cutting or something like that from a friend, and you can get started and planted with it and really just learn that one herb and learn why you use it. Because like I said, one herb can cover so many different things, which is really, really cool. But maybe I only use it for one thing. Like the nettles, it can cover a whole lot of stuff. I use it as an antihistamine. So, from the allergies when they come and go all the time, especially here in northern Michigan. So that's the one I use for that. But it covers so much. So just kind of pick which one you want to learn, keep learning about it, then add on another one, then add on another one. Start, if you think, hey, that one sounds really cool. It takes a few years to be able to start harvesting from stuff. And it takes a few years to start harvesting from like that. So if you find some really cool and you're like, I know I'm going to use that, but I don't necessarily need to remember it right now, get the cuttings, get the plants, and get them started and established so you can go ahead and do them, get it later on. What I wanted to mention this real quick. So when you are harvesting herbs, like the ones that you're cutting all the time, you're going to want to cut and snip them off. You see where it goes right here? Most of these herbs that we're cutting in the springtime, not in the roots, you're just going to cut right above that little crotch area. So that's where you're going to cut it off, and you're going to keep this part, and then that part would still be attached to the plant. So that's kind of how you cut a lot of herbs. If you are, they're starting to go to seed, but you need some, so you go ahead and give them a haircut and don't do anything with any of that herb then, and then they will go ahead and come back and keep growing for you. And then maybe at that time, then you can go ahead and, dehydrate it or tincture it or tea it or anything like that. So if you're going, I just don't have the time, but maybe I can go out and give everything a haircut, and then I have time to do stuff later on in a month or something when they start to grow back. That's kind of what I do sometimes, especially with this lemon balm that just really takes over stuff or just really grows a lot. I will harvest a little bit here, a little bit there, and maybe I give them a haircut once or twice during the year so I can, keep harvesting continuing longer, just like I've done with the stingy nettles, because I want to get a bunch. And so I kind of keep giving it haircuts and stuff like that. So if you would like to take deep dives into herbalism like that, you can join the Food Prude Academy, where I teach everything homesteading, from gardening, herbs, beekeeping, fencing, mindset. Just everything is in the Food Prude Academy. We have over 100 lessons, and it continually is growing. We do a Q&A call each month as well. So if you feel like you just want to take that next step and you want to, learn from someone who's actually doing it as well and has been doing it for a really long time, then you can just check out the Academy if you would like. It's up to you. You can pay, you can join per month. It's no big deal. So that's up to you. But I thought I would let you know that that is an option as well for you if you'd like to keep continuing learning. And if you have any questions, you can post down below. And I'll see you later, guys. God bless.